You see?
So tell me where I'm getting tripped up, because I have done that. I have been out dancing, because dancing, like that other woman, moves me, and I've been so in the vortex, in the moment, and sharing a dessert or a bite of food or 2 bites of food that has previously given me reactions, and at that moment I don't feel it, but then I'll feel it 3 hours later or the next morning when I wake up.
But the operative word here is that has previously given me reactions. And so what happened is you did sort of what's been happening here in this room. You used a behavior. In other words, you were caught up in a moment that you said was a happy moment, and you took the behavior and wanted the behavior then to maintain your stance in the vortex. In other words, we're just saying that example that you just gave is quite different from what we just did in holding you in the vortex. So what is it that you want to eat that you feel deprived of, that you have such strong reactions to?
Well, and again, this is only recent over the past few years. Wheat products, which is almost in every food in society, like cakes and cookies and pizza. And
well, now you're doing an outside the vortex focus wheel here. In other words, we just ask you a very simple question. We just said, so what is the food you want to eat? What is the food that you want to eat that you feel deprived? And you went into this whole rampage of it's in everything, and you just can't find anything that doesn't have it in it. You see what we're getting at? Wonder why you go to a dance and lose your mind and eat some of that, and it gives you in other words, how do you even know? And this is a really important. In other words, when you're out of the vortex, anything and everything can cause an adverse reaction. And as you're scrambling around trying to figure out, it might be that, it might be that, it might be that, it might be that, it might be that. I wonder if it's that. I wonder if it's the sucralose. I wonder if it's the sugar. I wonder if it's the carbs. I wonder if it's the wheat. I wonder if it's the gluten. I bet it's the gluten. I bet it's the gluten. I wonder, oh, I need a list of descriptive of what's in this food. I wonder if it's that. I wonder if it's that. I wonder if it's that. And we say, it's not any of that. It's that you're not over there.
That's exactly what
I know,
we do.
but what if it's that and that and that and that and that? It's not any of that. It's because you're not over there. I know, but it might be that, and 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 it might be that. And we say, you ate all of those things and didn't have a response to them. You didn't all of a sudden, your body didn't all of a sudden freak out and say, oh, all of those things that used to do well in your body, well, now we've decided that none of them are going to do well. Your body hasn't lost its center. It's that you've got other things that you're focused upon that are keeping you from being in the vortex, period. That's all it is. It isn't any of that. 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 But until you get in the vortex, in other words, you got to find a way of getting in the vortex. So what happens, it kind of compounds itself. You don't know it. You got stuff going on that's keeping you out of the vortex. You don't know that you're out of the vortex because you haven't even heard about this stupid vortex. You don't even know about the vortex. You've just been dipping along, thinking the thoughts that come. And expanding and expanding and expanding and expanding. You know why you can't get away with the same resistant thoughts this year that you had last year? Because who you are has expanded. In other words, you got to keep moving to keep up with you. That's what we were talking about earlier. You got to keep moving to keep up with you. And so it isn't that the food is changing or that your body is responding to it differently. It's that you've expanded and now you have more reason to move in the direction of that. So what happens, and you're not alone in this, so you're out of the vortex and you don't know it, and you're out of the vortex and you don't know it. You're in the vortex sometimes too, but you're out of the vortex and you don't know it. And you have these things that are bothering you, and you're out of the vortex and you don't know it. And you're out of the vortex and you don't know it. You're out of the vortex and you don't know it. And then you have, because you've been not knowing it because you haven't been sensitive to the emotion that lets you know that you're out of the vortex, you're really going to like this. So prepare yourself for an astonishing revelation. Do you know what has happened to someone who has a sensitivity to food? They've been insensitive to their emotion until it got big enough to get their attention.
Wow.
So you don't have a sensitivity issue. You have an insensitivity issue. You haven't been aware that you weren't in the vortex. And almost all of the people that just preceded you coming into the chair had the same situation. And they're using the happy sounding, I want to be in the vortex, I'm tuned in, tapped in, turned on, I'm doing all the right stuff words, but they're not in the vortex and don't know it. And we just think it's such a wonderful thing, where if you've got something going on and you're not in the vortex and you don't know it, don't worry, it will get bigger. And if you still don't know it, don't worry, it will get bigger until it gets big enough that you say, whoa, whoa, this is uncomfortable. I think I need to do something about this. But don't do the crazy thing and try to start eliminating stuff from your experience. That is what makes you feel deprivation.
Right.
It's because that's not the answer to what you're looking for. You're looking for the vibrational alignment, not omitting the culprit. This is a universe based upon inclusion. You can't push unwanted things out of your experience. If I can just push enough of these unwanted things out of my experience, then I'll get in the vortex. And we say it doesn't work that way at all. You just have to leave them all where they are, ignore them as best you can, and use any excuse in the world that you can to get in the vortex. And when you're in the vortex, now you'll be aware of what kinds of things are spitting you out. And you'll discover you're not allergic to food. You don't have hypersensitivity to food. You're allergic to being out of the vortex. You're allergic to negative thought.
Awesome.
You're allergic to things that make you feel worried. You're allergic to things that make you feel overwhelmed. You're allergic to things that make you feel resentful. That's the operative word, resentful. You're allergic to things that make you feel resentful.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Helpful to everyone. So when I get in the vortex, can I eat anything I want? Well, it'll take some work in order to bring yourself into alignment with that. If you could find the positive aspects in the things you love to eat the most, and it was only the positive aspects that were active in you, then you could eat them and they would only benefit you. But you can't eat things that you have decided and defined the negative aspects of and stay in the vortex. And if you don't stay in the vortex, you can't thrive. Are you getting this? It's not about what you eat, it's about whether you're in the vortex when you're eating it. So if you get in the vortex and eating it causes the vortex to spit you out, then you've got to find another way of thinking about it or stop eating it for now. And in the beginning, what will happen is you'll get so addicted to being in the vortex that you won't care about what you're eating, because you'll be getting your highs and your lifts and your energy and your thrills from being in the vortex. But once you hang around in the vortex, don't you know people who thrive eating stuff they have no business eating? Isn't it just annoying that they can thrive while they eat all the wrong things? And you say, oh, your time is coming. Your time is coming. You're just maintaining your perfect idyllic body weight and condition for a little while, but the boom will fall on you just like it has fallen on all the rest of us. And we say, not if you stay in the vortex. It's a vibrational balance that you're reaching for. And from that vibrational balance, you will find the perfect everything from where you stand. And eventually, anything that you desire can become a cooperative component, but you've got to do the work that makes it so.